All right, go ahead.
All right, Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Welcome to Ahmadiyya Fact Check blog channel. Today we're going to be talking about Ahmadiyya in Nigeria, the history of Ahmadiyya in Nigeria, their activities, what are they doing. I have an amazing guest today, Uncle Mushtaq Malik. I'm the age of his children, so a lot of respect. He worked in Nigeria for the Ahmadiyya movement in the 70s and etc. So we're just gonna jump right into it, brother. So remember, Ahmadiyya came to Nigeria in 1922 with Nayer was the imam, and they made the Africans, the Nigerians, pay for it. They made the West Africans pay for it, and Nigeria and Ghana, Sierra Leone and Gambia, these were all British colonies. That's the only reason Ahmadis were invited. In the French colonies, they were not invited. In the German colonies, the Belgian colonies, they were not invited. Only in the British colonies were they invited. So that's how they got a foothold. They fooled a bunch of Muslims, took their mosque. There was a split. The fourth or fifth sect of Ahmadis was created in 1922. Augusto, Jibril Martin. Check out my blog, Ahmadiyya Fact Check blog. And then we fast forward to 1937. There was another split. And then we fast forward to the 1970s. And I'm going to hand it over to my uncle here, Mushtaq Malik. I'm going to ask you a quick, the first question. And the first question is, when and where did you live in Nigeria? Tell us your story, Uncle.
Okay, my dear brother, you are like my son as well. It was nice talking to you today. In fact, I was reading your blog with great interest, and I have developed, I have got a lot of knowledge from Ahmadiyya Fact Check. I was surprised that this man is a not small man. He has a lot of knowledge. How did you get that knowledge? I don't know. But it was nice that today I am talking to you face to face. And I will learn from you more today as I have been doing it in the past. I'm so astonished that you have at this age so much knowledge about Ahmadiyya and other Islam. Unfortunately, our children who have been brought up over here by Ahmadis, they don't have the knowledge. Unfortunately, they have even lost their heritage, they have lost the contact of their language. Right. Very few people speak Urdu. Very, very, very few people, rarely, they read and write Urdu. Most of the books of Mirza Sahab are written in Urdu. So those books that have been brought over here, they are useless for our this generation and generations to come. Right. I do not know. They are not even teaching Urdu anywhere. I'm talking about United States, where I am.
Right. So, and they don't teach Urdu in Qadian either.
I have no idea. I have never been to Qadian. In fact, I was not even associated. I was just like a person born in an Ahmadi family. Okay. I graduated from Government College Lahore. I got my master's degree in zoology in 1971. Nice. And I never knew of Mirza Sahab a lot, except I used to go to Rabwa because one of my classmates was Ahmadi. He is now in New Orleans. His name is Mubashir Solangi. Then my sister used to live in Rabwa. So I used to go there when I was in Lahore for my 2-year stay in for master's degree from 1969 to 1971. Okay. So, but I never knew about the books that Mirza Sahab has a collection of books called Rohani Khazain. I never knew.
Well, Rahuni Hazain, wasn't that invented in the 80s? I don't think it
Something
was.
like, I believe me, if you want the truth,
Yeah.
I have seen these set when I came to America.
Okay. Okay.
And then I used to, when I came here, I started driving a cab. So, you know what, when we go to the airport, we have to wait for a couple of hours before we get. So
Right.
I was interested in that time. I was getting one or two books and started reading between two passengers waiting. So that's
Right.
how slowly I attained the knowledge of the Ahmadiyya in which I was born.
I see. I see.
My parents used to live, my parents, both of them are dead now. My father used to work for WAPDA, he retired. My mother, she had relations with other Muslims because
Okay.
there were very few Ahmadis in Multan, I remember. And
Right.
I left Multan in 1973. That's how I came to Nigeria, started teaching there. In that
Okay,
small
so
school.
right. So you came to Nigeria in 1973?
Yeah, in the end of probably it was September or October. It was ending 1973 when I was hired by Tehreek-e-Jadid.
By
So
Tariq
Tehreek,
Jadid?
yeah,
Yeah.
in fact, Tehreek-e-Jadid was the what you call these like other Ansarullah and whatever my Nasra Jahan, all those scheme. It was under Tehreek-e-Jadid's scheme that I was appointed as a biology teacher to teach in Fazle Umar Ahmadiyya Secondary School, Kano.
In
Now,
Kano, and that's in the
in
north.
Kano.
That's in
And
northern
so,
Nigeria.
at that time, you just mentioned about Nasim Safi. He was the missionary there. hmm, Who
Okay.
introduced who was one of those missionaries apart from Abdul Rahim Nayyar. Abdul Rahim Nayyar was the very first missionary who was sent to Nigeria, from there to Ghana and Sierra Leone
In
by Mirza
1960,
Mahmud.
yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was the very first. So they thought that it is through the schools, by educating those Nigerians, by educating the other Africans, we can promote Ahmadiyyat to that area of the world. So they happened to open. It was just one secondary school when I went there, belonging to Tehreek-e-Jadid in 1973. But there were other schools too, run by Ahmadiyya. Ahmadiyya, it was called as Nusrat Jahan scheme. I remember about 3 or 4 more schools. They started operating in others. They were not operating because they had a lot of Ahmadis. They were promoting, they wanted to educate those communities. And most of them, they were Christians, a few of them Muslims. Well, if you go to East Nigeria, West Nigeria, they were atheists. They did not have any religion of, they were pagans. So these are the people, they came in contact with the parents of those children and started educating them about Ahmadis. Unfortunately, I'm telling you the truth, it's a fact.
Yeah.
These people could not penetrate in North Nigeria
Right.
because
The Muslim
because
community.
they were Muslims.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they were predominant Jamaat, and it's just like a Jamaat Islami in Pakistan or whatever. They had a big Jamaat in Nigeria called Nasrul Islam. Jamaat Nasrul Islam was receiving direct aid from Saudi Arabia. So they opened many masajids, many schools over there. So when they tried to penetrate, introduce Mirza Ghulam Ahmad as a new prophet, unfortunately, the Muslims will never like it.
It will never happen. Yeah. And weren't
They
they
might,
type Muslims? They pray with their hands to the side.
yeah, but they might be able to succeed among other religions, like they could be able to convert few Christians, few pagans. But these people, they did one thing which was very, I will call it as a very intelligent, that they opened a couple of clinics, because everybody has to go to the doctor. So the
Right.
doctors also, they were the missionaries. So
Right.
the doctors, in fact, gained access to big guns, rich people.
Right.
And it is through these doctors that these children were sent to our schools.
And
And
were most of the doctors Pakistanis?
yeah, still, I don't know about now,
Yeah.
but at that time, during my stay in Ahmadiyya clinic, which is now the Ahmadiyya hospital, I have seen it's still there. The only doctor that I saw in that clinic was Dr. Ziauddin. He died when I was there. Then I don't know who took over, but there were another two doctors, one in Ibadan and one in Lagos. These clinics, they were making huge money.
Yeah. Yeah. And the Nigerian government was allowing the Ahmadiyya movement to make this money?
या किरण, मैं जरा बिजी हूं, मैं 1 घंटे तक बोलूंगा, हैं किरण?
Okay, so he took a phone call.
अच्छा,
No worries. No worries, uncle. Continue.
किरण, मैं जरा वो इंटरव्यू दे रहा हूं.
All right, so he got a phone call. So yeah, we're talking about how the Ahmadiyya movement spread or tried to spread in Nigeria. I think he's ready. Okay.
What the hell?
Are you back? Yeah. So
एक
you're back
मिनट
on,
यार ठहरो. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I did not switch. Okay, now it. Well, मैं क्या कह रहा था? What I was telling you about the
We were
clinics.
talking about
Yeah.
your life in Nigeria. It was 1973. You went there. You observed not many Ahmadis, not many Murabbis, especially
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
north, and that's because the north Nigeria is along the trade route, and the Muslims dominated the trade route from West Africa all the way to North Africa, all the way to Arabia with the camel. The camel was introduced by the Arabs. The West Africans got rich. Mansa Musa was the richest African of all time, and that's because of the camel and the trade routes. So in northern Nigeria is the key trade route, and Muslims dominated. So in all of West Africa, East Africa, my research shows Ahmadis did not get Muslims to convert. The majority of the people who converted were pagans or Christians. People who converted to Christianity are in the middle. They're stuck in the middle. They don't know what to do. So that's where we were. You were talking about the hospitals and the schools. What did you see in the school that you were teaching in?
Shut up. Let me leave and come back, because your sound is again, I have problem hearing you. So
Okay.
I'm leaving and coming back again, because after this call came, your sound quality deproved. Let me try again.
Okay. All right. So sorry about that. Can everybody hear me? Is there a sound issue? Let me go and look. Okay, I am back. All right. Okay. Muhammad Arif, can you hear me? Sound is perfect. Good. All right. Let me
People from whom I was expecting the calls do not call me, but still anyway.
Yeah.
So now I'm okay. So I was
Okay,
telling you, and you repeated that it is through the doctors that they were able to attract some influential people in Nigeria. So these people, these missionaries, like Abdurrahim Nayyar or Naseem Safi, they were not that educated very well.
Right.
They hardly speak, English. So they needed people who can teach them in English because English is still the first language in Nigeria. So, but these
Right.
Maulvis, these just Maulvis, they went there for fun.
Yeah.
Oh, I will tell you a joke about Naseem Safi.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah, it is a very good joke. And it was told by my principal, whose name was Rafiq Ahmed Saqib, who went to pick me up from the airport when on my first arrival. So on the
Okay.
way, he told us a joke about Naseem Safi. When he landed in Kano, came out of the airport, he found everything like his country. He didn't find anything new except the people were black. Are you hearing me? Hello? Are you hearing me?
Yeah.
So I was telling you, my principal, are you hearing me?
Yes.
Yeah. So my principal went there at the airport to receive me. And when we are coming to the school, to where they were going to put me up, he told us a joke about Naseem Safi. He said, when Naseem Safi came to Nigeria, he found that people over there, they were black, except that every other thing was just like what he used to be there in Pakistan, Rabwa, Qadian. The buildings were like that, same, people were same. So when they were driving, when they were driving through the highway or whatever, he saw a donkey on the street. It's just like that. We have donkeys, we have chicken and roasters. So when he saw the donkey, and he jokingly said, "Oh, this is also our own world." यहाँ तो हमारी अपनी दुनिया आबाद है. So that was the joke. Yeah. So really, these people, they were, now they are gone. We don't have to talk ill about them. And I'm not talking any ill about him. So it was a joke. Yeah, because since he saw donkeys over there.
Yeah. Sounds good. So you're at the school and you're teaching biology. How many of your students were Ahmadi? And were you told that if someone converts to Ahmadiyya, their school is free? Or how did that work?
Shah Saab, can you just wait? Somebody, I don't know, is an emergency call or what? Let me tell her, because my sound is disrupting. So I don't want that.
Yeah. No worries. So his phone's ringing, and I'm going to cover some stuff. So remember, in Nigeria, when they first showed up, they took advantage of the Quran people and took their mosque in 1922. They took their mosque, and now it was an Ahmadiyya mosque. They ended up losing it in a court case, and there was a huge split. Even to this day, the group of Ahmadis who don't agree with the Khalifa, they have all their own centers. It's called Anwar al-Islam, and that's sort of what they're up to. And per my research, we don't see any more than 5,000 Ahmadis in all of Nigeria in 2021. Barely, right? And then the missionary in charge is Maulvi Afzal Rauf, another missionary, Maulvi Azim Ahmed. Another one in the central area is Maulvi Nasir Mahmood. We can't even find any other Maulvis. We have found the Amir, who's a local, and they do that on purpose. They make the Amir a local. He's like the spokesman. He can speak all the different languages, and then they got all these schools going on. So, in a funny story, in 2018, the government stepped in, and took all their schools. Is that interesting? They took all the, he's back.
Sorry, Shah Saab, somebody was trying to, so I told her not to call me in next 2 hours.
Sure.
Because I thought she had something emergency or that. I told her before in the morning that I'll not be free today.
Yeah, it's totally okay.
Yeah, okay. So मैंने तुम्हें आपको वो सुना दिया joke that when he saw the donkey, he said, "This is our own world."
Yeah.
So now you can see we are really like them.
Right. Right.
I know we don't think, we don't see. Mirza Mahmud used to teach their missionaries the type of the tabligh. They say our missionaries should go straight, should attack like a swine. सीधा, अपना सर को टेढ़े इधर उधर नहीं करना, go straight. So
Right.
he made us like that, our missionaries like that. They do not have any thinking power. They have no decision power. They cannot make their own decision. They cannot even speak without the approval of their Khalifa.
Right.
Yeah. What they speak is what their Khalifa says.
What the Khalifa says, yeah, it's all the same. It's all the same.
All the same, and really, I have seen the change now. When I came close to Hakim Nuruddin's family, his son, his name, everybody has now learned about his name, Abdul Manan Umar. He has done a lot of scholastic contributions like you. He wrote many books. He wrote he and his wife did the translation and commentary, wrote dictionary of Quran, and compiled the chapterization of Musnad Ahmad bin Hanbal. So
yeah,
he was.
One of his sons live in the San Francisco Bay Area.
Yeah, his son used to be there. Now moved to. He is now in Delaware.
Yeah, I remember. So I'm from the San Francisco Bay Area.
Yeah, and, he was Bay Area. Yes, he was in Hayward, California.
Yeah, the Lahori Ahmadis have a jamaat in Hayward. They have a mission house in Hayward, California. I remember our Imam, Azhar Hanif, was sent there by the Khalifa to go ask Abdul Manan some questions. I remember. And I remember growing up, and some Lahori Ahmadis came to our masjid, and that's when I got my introduction to the Lahori Ahmadis. I said, "Who are the Lahori Ahmadis? Why are these people Lahori?" I had this question in my head when I was 12.
Shata, one more time I have to quit. Somebody called and the sound quality went down. I'm so sorry. Why they are calling me today?
Yeah, no worries. No worries. Yeah, so the story is the Lahori Ahmadis are not dead. I estimate about 40,000 in the world. I estimate about 150,000 Qadiani-Ahmadis. So, oh, is he back? Hold on. Let's see if he's back. Yep. Thank you, brother. Let's see.
About Nigeria. We are talking about Nigeria.
Yes.
So I started teaching biology and integrated school there. And one I will never forget. That skill, this, as I told you, that the Ahmadis in this African country, they cannot afford to run their schools on their own.
Yeah. What's the name of the school?
Except when the schools are grant aided by the government. On their own, they cannot pay the salaries to the staff. They cannot be other, because most of the schools over there, either they are in the outskirts where they have hostels, boarding houses, so they cannot. So what they do is that they open the school and try to get the schools recognized by the state government, by the Ministry of Education. So when I went there in September 1873, the school was not recognized. They opened it. They have 4 or 5 classes, all the way from Form 1 to Form 5. Form 1 is equal to Class 6 in our systems. That is the secondary Class 6. So they did not have enough funds to pay their staff. They had only 2 or 3. One was the principal, other was the vice principal. They were paying them because they were there before me 2-3 years ago. The school was about 3-4 years ago old. Okay. So, but when I went there, The jamaat paid the ticket to me and said, okay, now you go to Kano. They will take care of you. Now, when I went there, the next day, the emir of Nigeria called. His name was Ajmal Shahid, Maulana Ajmal Shahid. He told the principal that tell the teacher that we don't have the salaries to pay them. We will keep them here, take care of them. We will hardly be able to pay them 30 pounds. Whereas I was given the understanding that they will pay their missionary teachers 60 pounds per month. 60 pounds was quite a good, handsome money. We can live comfortably, send some of it to our parents.
Okay.
Anyway, we told them that it will be very hard for us because my parents are living in Pakistan and they have sent me on the hope that I will go. I came from a very average family. Not my father was an operator retired. He was spending retired life. So, in fact, I was the main source of their, So I told them that our parents, they need, my parents also need need me to send money to them. They say, sorry, we cannot do that. Just exercise patience. You people are Ahmadis. You are sacrificing. You are doing this and you are doing that. Anyway, on their own, they decided to pay me 30 pounds. 30 pounds was about 35 British pound or so, or $70, which were not even enough. So I suggested them, okay, can you give us the second, that is the remaining salary in Pakistan to my parents so that they can also survive?
Right.
They said, I'm sorry, we cannot do that. We don't have enough funds. They expect you to exercise patience and sacrifices, pay them a lot of money. But in turn, they pay to their employees. They are very miser.
Right. They don't want to pay their
employees. They don't want. I say, okay, no problem.
Yeah. In fact, Humanity First, the doctors are free. The doctors
yeah, that's right. My own son from Texas, he is from Austin, Texas. He is one of the members of Humanity First. Anyway, well, they did not listen. They were keeping paying, and still they were trying to get the school recognized and grant aided by the State Ministry of Education.
Right. So why did they need Tariqa Jadid money if they got local money to pay for the school?
Yeah, believe me, over there when I was there, the Ahmadiyya clinic in Kano with Dr. Ziauddin as the in charge, he was there for many years. And we even asked them, Dr. Saab, can you please help this school so that they pay? When you ask help from them, they will not.
Yeah.
They want to take every penny out of your pocket. But if you are in need, they will not. So anyway, he also started using those. No, we are here to sacrifice. We are doing the okay. Then anyway, it happened that we entered the new year, and in April, the school was recognized and was given the grant. And you know what? The salaries now started coming from the Ministry of Education.
Now the money is rolling in.
So and I will tell you another interesting story. That's how they manipulated our minds. When the school was recognized, the salaries of staff were backdated. I went in September. The salary was backdated to a few months back when I was not even there.
Right. It's a paperwork trick to get
it was a paperwork. So I was given I still remember, about 1,200 pounds, something like that. So I told them, I was not even there when the salary started coming, the principal, Mr. Rafiq Ahmad Saqib, said, "Oh, don't worry, don't worry. This is your money. You should keep it. Do one thing, just pay your chandas, and then the remaining is yours."
Yeah,
So that's how they and they made me sign a wasiyat document.
wow,
Okay,
wow.
you do the wasiyat. Out of 1,200, give $120 per whatever the money was given that time. I don't remember that figure. So they took their 10% plus this and plus that. So I was happy. I was given so much money that I could easily buy a car over there.
Right, right.
So I was happy this way. And then, well, anyway, I stayed there in that school for about a year and a half, maybe a little bit more. You know what happened in 1974? There's a persecution against Ahmadis started, and then the matter was sent to the National Assembly. And it is at that time that most Ahmadis started running out of the country. In 19 after this this law was passed after the change. So and one of a very renowned person. He was medical missionary. He came to Nigeria. He was doing a business. Many people know him. His name was Colonel Ataullah, a retired colonel, and he was the only Ahmadi who hiked the Mount Everest.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, it was a big. His name you can scroll on Google. His name was Colonel Ataullah. He wrote a book, Man of the Two Words, Citizen of the Two Words. That's a very interesting book. So he came to Nigeria. He came to Nigeria just like Dr. Abdul Salam also came one time. So then he came and he said that, hey, you have these young teachers here. Tell them to find a job in the government so that we can bring more teachers in the school. So that's how I got the permission to go to join other state governments. And then they sent more teachers.
Right. So you were there in 1973 when the Saudi Arabian government banned Ahmadis from Nigeria from getting a visa to go for Hajj.
Exactly. No, the Ahmadis had to go and get a certificate from Nasrul Islam, Jamaat Nasrul Islam, declaring that they were not Ahmadis. They were Muslims.
The only way they could go for Hajj.
Huh?
And that would be the only way they could go for Hajj.
That's the only way. So anyway, Muslims over there, many Nigerians, they used to go for Hajj. You know, over there, everybody once a year goes there. You know, they used to go not to perform Hajj, but also for the business. They were doing business. They were business people. So they used to travel, bring things, whatever. So anyway, what I was saying that when they allowed me to apply to different institutions so that I can quit that job and give it to another Ahmadi. So that's how I quit it. Then really, if I was in that school, I would have been the same. When there as a teacher, even after 15, 16 years, I will retire as a teacher with about meager salary of 100 pounds, 200 pounds. That's it. But the moment I got out of that school, I knew that there was a big world outside that school.
Outside the school, yeah. Did you?
Yeah, outside the school, there was the whole world.
Yeah.
I happened to meet very highly educated people who were from India, from other countries, from Pakistan. They were highly educated and they were contributing their quota and highly placed. So I met highly placed people who were there as working as inspectors, professors, and all that. So I was very close. So when I was in Nigeria, in Kano, there was about 10, 15, 20 Ahmadis. That's it.
In all of Kano, Nigeria, there were 10 to 15 Ahmadis.
So I was in the population at that time. At that time, when I went there in all these 4, 5 classes, there were 30 each. That's about 150 people. Out of that, maybe 1 or 2 people Ahmadis. That's it.
Right. And if they were Ahmadi, were their tuition fees paid for free? Was there incentive?
Yeah, they were not paying any tuition fee. But anyway, the standard of that school was quite good.
Yeah,
Since
yeah. But
they got enough funds, so very few students could get education over there. But they were pretty good. But most of them, most of my students, they were either Christians, other Muslims, and the other Christians, the pagans as well.
Got
And they only had,
Can I show you some pictures? Can you see this? Is this the college?
yeah, this is the college I used to teach. It was called Fazle Umar Ahmadiyya School, Ahmadiyya Secondary School. It became upgraded to college later. This was opened by Tariq-e-Jadid.
What about this picture? Is this the gate? Do you remember this?
Yes. No, I don't remember. It came after. We had a very small building. In fact, this building you see here, they were built when I was there. Government grant gave us grant, then the Jamaat bought a land and started building. We were teaching in prefabricated classrooms. They were not. They were portable classrooms.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, temporary until they were getting the grants.
Until they got the money from the government.
Until they got.
Okay. Did you ever meet the famous professor who was an ex-Ahmadi, Dr. Balogan?
I'm sorry?
Dr. Balogan, I think his name is. Dr. Balogan, who was a famous ex-Ahmadi.
Okay, you are talking to the professor of University of Ibadan, Dr. Balogan.
Yes.
Yeah, he was in Balogan. He was an Ahmadi. Later on, when he found that the claim of Mirza Ghulam Ahmad is a Nabi, and then Dr. Balogan was influenced by Jamaat Nasrul Islam. He was a Yoruba. So when he came to know that, these beliefs, Muslims don't believe in another prophet. You know, those Africans, they are very simple. They are very simple. And in Christians, in most of the Christians, they don't have this concept of the last prophet or whatever. Prophets can come every day in them. So for them, it's not a big issue. But when Dr. Balogan, he studied Islam, he got out of this. He was very influential over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's how many people, there were many of his followers. And, you know, that it's because of Dr. Balogan and some other that this Jamaat in Nigeria was broken. One in 37, whenever you said. The second time, it was in early 70s, when the whole big chunk, and they had to change the name in 1975. It was called Ahmadiyya movement in Islam. All the before 1947, I'm so sorry. What was the date I gave you? 1970 something.
Yeah.
It was just one Jamaat, big Jamaat. So when a big chunk broke, they took over these Ahmadiyya mission.
I see.
And then these Ahmadis had to register with another name, with only one mosque left in Lagos, which is in Edomabo, Lagos. And they changed it to Ahmadiyya Muslim Mission.
Right. I've seen that.
Yeah,
in the
Ahmadiyya Muslim Mission. But the whole was Ahmadiyya movement in Islam. But once they were kicked out, they cannot use that name. It is already registered. So they did not change the name. It is only Qadianis who changed the name as Ahmadiyya Muslim Mission.
So what about Lahori Ahmadis? Was there ever any formal mission?
Yes, there were Lahori Ahmadis. In fact, I happened to meet this Jamaat. They also were splitted sometimes when I used to teach in College of Advanced Studies in Bida, Niger State, which is Mina. They had a small mosque. It belonged to Qadianis, but later on taken by Lahoris. And they
Wow.
had a different name. They were much more. In fact, they were not even in this Qadianis, where I used to be there. There were 4 or 5 Ahmadis. And I was young at that time. I was not trained to be a missionary, trained to be a imam. Sometimes they had to tell me, hey, to please, you lead the prayer in Jummah. Honestly, I did not know how to lead the prayer. So what they do when I used to go to the other mosques, for example, I go to Multan, the imam will take it is the instruction from the Khalifa that you should read the khutbah from Al-Fazl.
Right.
Is that right? Not from their own.
Not from their
So
own.
whenever I went to the mosque, I saw the imam reading the khutbah from Al-Fazl.
Yeah.
Same thing was happening in Nigeria. So what happened that day? It was a Friday, I still remember. It was a Friday that they told me to please, Malik, Saab, you you lead us in the prayer. Oh man, I do not feel to be an imam of that. No, I don't deserve to be that. I did not have any al-fazl in my home. Happened to be, I have some kind of a religious magazine. I started, it's very interesting. I started giving khutbah from that. It was from I'm telling you that they are so intelligent. Those African Ahmadis are African, they're so Ahmadi. Anyway, I started reading the khutbah and saying, Imam said this, Imam. So when the khutbah was over after the jamaat, the person who was in charge, the Ahmadi, he told me, Malik Saab, where did you get this khutbah? This is from Shia ideology. So I did not. So they should send those people who are for the schools, they should get them at least some basic training that sometimes they have to lead in prayer. They have to do, but they don't do.
Yeah, when I was growing up in California, every khutbah Jummah, I went to so many Jummahs, right? They would read off the Khalifa's khutbah and give a summary of it. Okay, but here's a quick question. What did you eat when you were in Nigeria? Because Nigeria doesn't have wheat. It doesn't have bread. All the bread is imported. So in the 1970s, what did you eat? Especially for a Pakistani, we eat roti.
Oh yeah, there were a lot of Pakistanis over there in the business. There were a lot of Arabs there, and the school where I was teaching, we had the Beirut market over there. That Middle East, we used to get bread. We used to get all the spices. So we had our own food. Yes.
Got it. So okay, you taught 2 years in the Ahmadiyya College in Kano. Then where did you go?
Okay, then I got a job in Ministry of Education, Kaduna, which was called as at that time it was called North Central State. Now it is Kaduna State. So my school was in one of the outskirts town, which was called as Makarthi. There was a high school, boarding school over there. And the principal of that high school, I still remember his name, Hansraj Kalra. He was a Punjabi and from India. We became very good friends when we met sometimes, So he told me that we asked me just like, where are you from? When I said, I'm from Bera. So he told me that his wife is also from Bera. So he was also, so then I jokingly said, hey, when you people migrated from Bera, he was a Hindu, so you people left all your gold buried in your houses. So tell us where your house was. Let me go and get the house, buy and then dig it. So he happened to be a very good friend of mine. We were together for about 3 years in that school. It was called Ahmadiyya Secondary School, Makarfi.
Okay, and
Like,
how was the Ahmadiyya community in central Nigeria? How big
I'm
was
sorry?
it? How many Ahmadis? How many Ahmadis?
No, there were no Ahmadis in that school. No Ahmadi
Oh,
children. No, it was a boarding schools. You know what? All those, there's a different system in over there. In boarding schools, even if the father lives next door, he has to live in the dormitory in the school. The schools are boarding schools. So they sent their children there. We had to take care of them in the night on the school. So all those were recruited by the Ministry of Education and got admission through them, and we were taking care of them.
I see. I see. So okay. How long did you work there?
Oh, I worked in that school for about 3 years.
Okay. So where'd you go after that?
So then I got a better offer from Advanced Teachers College in Jos, which was in Plateau State. It was a hill area. It was a very nice job. 3 years, I went there and started my classes there in 1979.
Okay.
But later on, when I was in that college, within a few months, I got a better offer from another college, College of Advanced Studies. It was in Maiduguri. It became a College of Technology later. So I was appointed there as a lecturer. So I stayed in Maiduguri, which was Borno State. That time it was called as Northeastern State. When I went in Nigeria, there were only 4 or 5 states: Northeastern, Northwestern, North Central, and South, and whatever. So then later on, it was broken down into 2 or 3 different states. So I went there,
and you were
stayed
there.
in Maiduguri.
Yeah. So you were there in 79 and 80. Mirza Masroor Ahmad was nearby.
That time Masroor was there in Ghana.
In
Yes.
Ghana. And Mirza Nasir Ahmad came and visited in 1980.
Yeah, but we heard very bad stories about him. I cannot tell you over here, because I don't want to fake any story.
Right.
But he was not successful. People did not like him to be the principal of that. So, but since he was having his graduate degree in agriculture, so he introduced some kind of.
That's what they say. They say he has a master's degree in agricultural economics.
Yeah, he came from Ahmad. Yes.
We haven't confirmed it, and I found videos of him saying he was a terrible student. So honestly, I don't believe that
he could not handle the school. So they have to move him to give him a farm. There is a big farm of Ahmadis run by the Ahmadis. I don't remember the name of the person. So he tried to introduce a certain kind of wheat. And this man, knowingly that wheat is not the staple food of Africans.
Yeah. Wheat doesn't grow in
No, it is not. So you can now imagine the level of his thinking, level of his knowledge. He should have grown better quality of yam, better quality of corn, which is their staple food. Not they don't know what wheat is.
Yeah, and just to be clear, wheat grows between 57 and 77 degrees.
Yes.
In Pakistan, there's wheat shortages because that temperature only happens a few months out of the year in Pakistan. So all the wheat has to be grown in those few months. And in fact, Pakistan imports wheat because there isn't enough. India has a lot of wheat, actually, because in different areas of India, the temperature is lower.
Yeah. So that's how. So you can see. Also, he was not successful there. I don't know how successfully he ran the farm. I don't think the wheat was produced in such a quantity that could be imported out. No, nothing.
Yeah, not
outside
at all.
family, nobody knew what wheat is.
Yeah, and how is he a Musi? I thought the family of Mirza Ghulam Ahmad wasn't allowed to be Musi. How was Mirza Masroor Ahmad the Musi? That makes no sense either.
No,
He's a
I don't
Mufti?
know. He may be, because let me tell you, we have to, this is another topic, then it will go. Mirza Ghulam Ahmad gave his land for that graveyard, which is called Baishti Makbara. It was
Yeah.
his personal property. When he gave it to the Jamaat, he said that my people from my community, from my family, not community, family,
Or
they
exempted, yeah.
are exempt from doing the wasiyat
Doing
because
wasiyah. So
it
how did
was his
Mirza
own
Masroor, I know,
property. It was his own property. But the
yeah,
other who got to be buried over there, they should pay at least 10% chanda wasiyat. Probably he's taking advantage of that. I do not know. He never. These people, they don't pay any chandas. They
yeah,
take
they're not paying
chandas
chanda.
from
Yeah,
you, not.
and
Uh,
and the fact is, the majority of the family of Mirza Ghulam Ahmad was not buried in Qadian. They're
Let me
buried.
tell you, this is another we can hold another video on that one. Mirza Ghulam Ahmad said, this land will not make somebody bahishti.
Right. You have to
Not,
earn it.
this land is not special, but only the people who will be pious, they will be buried over there.
Yeah.
So,
So
see, none of the Mirza Ghulam Ahmad's family got buried. So I will presume that they were not pious enough to
right.
be buried over there. So that's why. So
So okay.
I have disregard for the family.
Right. So it's 1979. It's 1980. You're working in central Nigeria.
Yeah, in Borno, in Maiduguri. Then I was, since my services to the state government, I was posted in another secondary school, which is called Unguru. That was also in Borno state. But
Okay.
unfortunately, that area was too remote. It was cut off from the, it was through the, we had to go through the desert to drive. There was no connection except the train running from Unguru to Kano. Just the roads were just, we had to go through sands. So life was pretty hard over there. I was still in that school for about 2 years. I kept trying to go to another school. So
Yeah.
luckily, I got a job in a school which was in Niger State, Minna. It was a College of Advanced Studies. I went there in 1981 as a lecturer. And then I retired. I was the head of department, biological department, up till 1987 when I came to Nigeria. I'm sorry, came to America.
In the USA. So okay.
I had a pretty successful life after I got out of this system, their school. I was holding very important positions. I was the senior examiner and team leader in West African Examination Council. I used to convene the coordinations every twice a year, marking West African Examination Council's exams, biology. Then I was head of my department in College of Advanced Studies. I was a senior lecturer over there before coming to America. That's my whole story.
Got it. So did you ever go to Lagos?
I'm sorry?
Did you ever go to Lagos?
I had, yes, exactly. I went there many times.
How many
Not
Ahmadis were in Lagos?
Not many, not many. They used to come.
Okay.
But there were not many. That time Amir was Maulana Muhammad Ajmal Shahid. So not anyway, since he was the in charge, you know what? I will tell you another thing. Do you remember the opening of mosque in Spain?
Yeah, it was 1982.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was the emir of Nigeria, West Africa. He was missionary in charge, West Africa. So he was supposed to go for opening. And Mirza Nasser was supposed to go and open the mosque. And this guy, Ajmal Shahid, was to represent Africans from Nigeria. Unfortunately, I think Mirza Nasser either died or whatever, he could not. And Mirza Tahir came. Hmm? And
Okay.
and this man, this what you call this, the missionary in charge, Ajmal Shahid, he did not have any reputation, good reputation. He was in bad books because he was. I don't blame him now. I cannot prove that he was smuggling money and he had poultry farm and this and that. No. So what happened that his invitation to Spain was withdrawn by the Khalifa. Probably he was not in good term with Mirza Tahir Ahmad, so
Yeah,
he
yeah.
could not go.
I
Later
see.
on, he was removed from the emirship. He was retired. He came to America.
I got it. Yeah, and I've been to the Ahmadiyya place of worship in Spain. I lived in Spain in
You know, did you
2001,
go? Did
2003.
you go to? Did you have you seen the Ahmadiyya mosque there in Pedroabad?
Absolutely. I even went there and said my prayers. I was stationed close to Sevilla in the summer of 2001. In the summer of 2003, I was in the U.S. Air Force fixing in transient aircraft. Yeah. So I saw that mosque. It's real small. There's barely
Yeah.
10 Ahmadis, 10, 20 Ahmadis.
Yes, yeah, and the first missionary that who was appointed over there was Karam Ilahi. His name something like Karam Ilahi. You know what they said? I was surprised that they don't even do the research work. And the Khalifa claimed that this is the first ever mosque in Spain that was opened by Ahmadis after 600 years, which is
Yeah.
absolutely wrong. This is
Yeah.
not the first ever mosque. There were, huge mosques built by Spanish people over there. Look at Cordoba, Granada. They were old and these small. This is not even a first mosque. Muslims have been there for centuries, but not in power. They
Right.
were forcibly converted to Christianity by the emperor, by the government over there. But they claim, they give such exaggerated false claims.
Right. So
Which I
okay, let me ask another question. Back to Nigeria. As of 2012, the Ahmadiyya movement has created a Wikipedia page, and it's Ahmadiyya by country. They're claiming 2.5 million Nigerians are Ahmadi in 2021. What do you have to say about that?
I am so sorry to say that this is the only point I revolted against this jamaat. When I heard that, I did not pay much attention in 1991, 92, 93, that there are 200,000 conversions, 400, 800. I started this movement in 1999 when he claimed to be so many millions.
Right.
When he claimed to have converted 440 millions in India alone and converting to whatever. I raised heavy voice, came through whatever. Then at that time, we were talking with Kareem Sheikh and other friends. So that is the only reason I drifted away from them. They were liars. Now they have got. That time I got threats. I got threats from these Ahmadis. We will kill you. We will do it. Where are they now? I'm here. Come and kill me. Where has your claim gone? Where has your claim gone? They are liars. This community has degraded themselves. Nobody else. They are the cause. They themselves are the cause of all this nonsense.
I totally agree. Why did they have to? And then they'll say, "Oh, the Lahori Ahmadis are just a few." You are just a few. The Qadianis are on so many. So why? Lahori Ahmadis didn't get asylum and didn't get British government help to expand in British colonies. You know, I think the Lahoris, the only place that they beat the Qadianis to was Indonesia. I think
Yes, you can, you know,
South
very few people know about Lahoris. Even still, somebody said there are only 10 of them. You are not a Jamaat. They think I'm from Lahore. I'm Lahori. Okay, forget. I don't care. You know, it is their Khalifa, Mirza Mahmud, once said when he clashed with Muhammad Ali, that time the Amir of Lahori Jamaat, he used to say that Lahoris are dhai botiyan. You know what dhai botiyan is?
Dead bones?
Dhai is 2.5.
Oh, okay.
तो बोटी जो हम लोग खाते हैं, खाने में जो गोश्त की बोटी.
Yeah.
So he used to call Lahoris as dhai botiyan. And he used to call the Amir of Lahore Jamaat as Fattu Ba'akhban. Ask your father who is the Fattu Jamaat. That their Jamaat, he has a very small Jamaat, very 2-3 people, and he himself, whatever, I don't know. I don't have the exact word for that. There are 2 of them running the whole Jamaat. But in fact, if you look at that, Lahoris have done lot more work in publications. Right. They are not even close. These Qadianis, Khalafis, they are not even close to their work. Look at, but they stop. They are stopped by their so-called Muslim out, not to read their literature, not to go. They are dangerous. Oh, they are again, and they are this and they are that. Right. So that's why most of the Ahmadis, they know nothing about Lahoris.
Right. And I was so lucky when I was growing up in the San Francisco Bay Area, I met some Lahoris.
They're all there. Look at, I can tell you, they may be in some areas more than this. More than. Look at Indonesia. They have adopted Lahori belief. Look at South America. Guyana.
Suriname.
Yes. So many, exactly. So they are, but unfortunately, they have been made. These Qadianis, these Khalafis, they have been made.
Yeah. So quick question: as of 2021, how many Ahmadis do you think that are loyal to the Khilafat are there in Nigeria? And I'll give you my estimate: 5,000, and mostly in Lahore.
Honestly, Shah Sahab, since I left Nigeria, I lost all the contacts after about 3-4 years. Until, when I started hearing their bullshit, I lost even the interest in this Jamaat in which I was born. Yeah. So I don't know how many people are there in Nigeria. I don't, but what I have, at least, I'm so glad that I have fulfilled my duty to spread the truth. That they are theirs. So I am satisfied that at least I have done my part in extending the truth to all my family members, to all my Jamaat. Those who have really nice, kind heart, they have listened to me and they now believe. It was one time when I was raising that Khalifa is telling lie, I used to tell Mirza Tahir Kazab. So they were about to kill me. I said, no, what is Kazab? Now they themselves have admitted that Mirza Tahir was given false statements. No, you don't speak like that. You are the head of a responsible community.
Right.
You are not an uneducated. You are not an uneducated. You are heading a Jamaat which claims to be hundreds of millions. But you are misrepresenting your Jamaat. How many? So वो कहते हैं ना उर्दू में कि आपने पैरों से खुद कुहाड़ी मारी है.
Yeah.
इन्होंने खुद कुहाड़ी मारी है. They have cut their own feet. They blame others.
Yeah.
Shah Sahab, they have no right to blame others. Their own Khalifas, their own Maulvis and Murabbis, they have cut their own feet.
Right.
What do you expect from them? Progress? Zero. Like I just remembered one incident. You just asked me about the population of Ahmadis. I'm talking about sometimes when I moved from that school, went to that Kaduna State. One of my friends, we were classmates. I still remember his name, Nasrullah. His name was Nasrullah. He came to visit Nigeria. Probably he came that time. Nigeria got some contracts in digging the wells. So he was an Ahmadi. Any Ahmadi that goes to any country, first he will find the contact over there, so that he has to go. So anyway, this my classmate, he became an engineer there in Nigeria, in Pakistan. So he came on a business trip, and he got all the information. I was there. He came to the same. I went to receive him. And we put him in the mission house in Kano. He was there. He was given a small room. He stayed there for about a couple of weeks or so. So one day, at that time, the missionary over there, his name was Munir Bismil. Munir Bismil was not doing any tabligh over there. He was fond of using jamaats, transport, friends' cars. He will wake up in the afternoon, 12 o'clock, and then he will go start it, going store to store, store to store. Once I asked him, Maulvi Sahab, you don't do any tabligh? He said, Jamaat does not take care of us. Jamaat does not give us the cars, amenities. So how can we do the tabligh without the car and this and that? That was one excuse. So that day when this, anybody who comes from Pakistan, goes to Nigeria, he has a lot of expectations. He said, oh, Ahmadi is doing hard work, they are very practicing Muslim. So, what he also, maybe he had the same feelings. So he said that this Ahmadi Jamaat is doing very great job. One day, it happened that in the afternoon, he came out and woke the Ahmadi missionary, Muslim, Bismil Sahab, आज सुबह फजर दी अजान नहीं हुई इस मस्जिद विच. He was so much annoyed. So he said, आज इस मस्जिद विच आज सुबह अजान भी नहीं हुई, तुसी कहंदे हो ਅਸੀਂ 5 वक्त नमाज़ां पढ़दे. So they are not practicing.
Right.
They just go there for fun. They just go there for fun. And
it's all business. It's all
and prepare fake reports. Fake reports.
Yeah, fake reports. So that takes me to my next question, and we need to wrap it up. We're past an hour, but
exactly.
They have a jamia in Yaro in the Ogun state. Now, it's my opinion that this jamia produces English teachers and other teachers that go and work in their schools, and that's how they're making money off their own teachers.
What is the name of that town? Yaro?
Yaro.
Can you spell that to me?
L-L-A-R-O.
Ilaro. It is Ilaro.
Ilaro. Yeah.
Ilaro. Ilaro is in Ogun State. Yes, they might have a small institution that could produce some type of missionaries. Yes, Ilaro.
Ilaro. Are not the classic missionaries.
No, they are not. No, they are not trained. They are not trained.
To go teach
They only use their personal experience and relations with the communities. They are not trained missionaries. They are not.
Right. So now the scam is that they have their own teacher training center. They don't give them the full pay. They take some of their pay. I'd also read this in Fisher. Ahmadi Murabbis who were working in government schools were told to not take the pay from the government and to give it as chanda.
This is what trick they use because there's a shortage of chanda.
Right.
They cannot afford the missionaries, I'm telling you.
Right.
And claim to be a big jamaat, attending huge successes. Where are the successes?
Right. And I've been on YouTube.
I don't see.
I went to the Nigerian Twitter page, MKA Nigeria. I've been to the Akano Facebook page. I've been to all their Facebook pages, even in the Gambia, and I don't see much. I see today in 2021, I see 10 places of worship, very small, all very small. Normal capacity is 100 to 300, and anyone could come. They don't they'll show pictures on social media. Look at how many people came to this event. Half of them aren't even Ahmadi. Half of them just came for the free clothing and the free food. See?
Sheikh Saab, let me tell you the truth. In my 15 years of stay in Nigeria, staying in different towns, different places, I have not seen a single African accepting Ahmadiyyat, except those who were converted during the time of Abdul Rahim Nayyar and other old missionaries who brought some families. There could be some teacher, some children of those families, old, but since they are dead, the new generation does not know anything. So they are.
All they know is they were born into it, and then some of them are loyal to it, and that's it.
Exactly. So, well, anyway, I feel pity on them, and sometimes I feel ashamed too that we had this feeling that our jamaat is prospering at such a high rate, but nothing I did not see. Believe me, when I went in Nigeria, the mosque I used to go was Kano. And our local missionary, he was the only Hausa old man. I still remember he was in 60s. He could not speak English, just the Hausa language. Now, how could he communicate with Yorubas? How could he communicate with the people coming from Pakistan? No. He was the only. So I used to talk to Dr. Ziauddin at that time. Dr. Saab, we have our missionary from the walled city where the Muslims are in concentration, influenced by Saudi Arabia. And luckily you have a person from them, from the Emir of Kano family. Why don't you do the tabligh, preach their involved city? So he told me, Malik Saab, you know that they are very strict. They will not let us intervene in their walnut city, in their walled city. But that Amir, at that time, his name was Adobairo. At that time, now we have a different Amir over there. He used to come to doctor's clinic with all that, jo shana shaukat nahi hoti, on his horses and all that, followed by many as a patient. But Dr. Saab could not convert a single person out of the Amir of Kano's family.
Alhamdulillah.
None of the family member of Amir of Kano was converted to Ahmadiyyat. But he was a very good friend of Dr. Ziauddin. So that's the story.
Got it. So, okay, we're past an hour. What are your last words about Ahmadiyya in Nigeria? Anything you want to say? And then I'll end the broadcast, but don't leave the studio. I just want to say salam before you go. But what are your final words, Uncle?
Well, man, I will advise all my Ahmadis. And I have reached 70, past 70 now. My new generations, please do not follow a faith blindly. In Islam, you have been told to do your own research. People are there to give you false information. They want you to be their blind faith follower. No question. Do not ask any questions. Just follow what we tell you. So that is what is making us follow the wrong path. We are in a period which is in much more advanced. Media is very advanced. Everything is at our fingertips. We have to do our own study, our own. You have any question? Ask the people. Research from your internet. So, and follow the truth. This is what my message to all Ahmadi is. These Maulvis are not any more educated. They are not at your level. I will be surprised if many of them can read Quran very correctly. Honestly, I am very honest about myself. Since I was just brought up in an average family, my mother taught me only 2 parts of Quran. Believe me, if you want me to recite Quran, you will find so many mistakes because I was not trained on that. So unfortunately, our children who are born here are getting out of Quran. They cannot read, write their own language. So they should concentrate on finding the truth, explore their own ways. Yeah, hopefully I
Sounds
will.
good. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, assalamu alaikum, and uncle, please stay in the studio. I just want to say salam to you, and we'll plan some future videos, probably around the sons of Nuruddin. That's a hot topic. So I'm going to end the broadcast. Here we go.